Hello, today I'm going to talk to you about bread. No, not money and not the band.
Baby, I'ma want you.
Actual white bread and why it became so popular at the beginning of the 20th century. I'm also going to provide you with my no-fail white bread recipe. It's very simple, and if you follow the steps, you're golden.
The rise of white bread, pun intended, in the United States happened largely around the late 19th century due to two things: advancements in the milling process and advancements in the batch baking process. 2 decades later, these advancements caused a large shift, with bread making being left to the bakeries rather than being made at home. Large bread companies popped up all over the country, such as France, the Word Baking Company, and the Taggart Baking Company, famous for its creation of Wonder Bread in 1921. However, the Taggart Baking Company was bought out by Continental Baking Company in 1925, which made Wonder Bread a national brand. In the 1930s, Continental started marketing Wonder Bread in sliced form. It was one of the first companies to do so. However, 2 years earlier, in July of 1928, the first company to sell sliced bread was actually the Chillicothe Baking Company in Missouri, using a machine invented by Otto Frederick Rohwedder. Sliced bread became so popular that by 1933, 80% of bread was sold pre-sliced. Flash forward to present day, white bread remains a staple in the American diet. Around 70% of bread being consumed is white bread. Though Wonder Bread and the likes of large bread companies remain persistent, currently there's been a push towards artisanal white breads, local bakeries, and home baking. That's where I come in, with my simple white bread recipe that I think is better than ye olde sliced bread. Let's get started, friends.
So today I'm going to make a super simple white bread recipe. I'm going to try out my new stand mixer on this recipe. I got it from Amazon. It's a budget-friendly one. I have already tested it out when I made some conchas, but the dough's a little bit different, probably a little bit tougher, but I wanted to see how it did with this dough as well. You don't need a mixer for this. I just wanted to use it because I do not like kneading. And yeah, so you can do this at home with all of these ingredients if you have them on hand, or you go to the store, and it's good to keep these kinds of ingredients on hand. So here we go. So for this super simple white bread recipe, you're going to have a 1.25 cups of liquid. That's going to be half milk or half a heavy cream. That's up to you. And the rest is going to be water. You're going to need 2.25 or a half teaspoons of instant yeast, 1 tablespoon of oil, 3 tablespoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, and then 3 cups of flour. And that all depends on the flour that you have. It might be a little bit more, and plus you're going to need more to when you punch it down and form your dough however you want to form it. So 3 cups plus a little bit more, and that's pretty much it. So let's get started. What we're going to start with is warming the liquids for maybe about 30 seconds in the refrigerator, microwave, probably like 15 seconds. You really just don't want this to be cold, because what you're going to do is put your sugar into your liquid with your yeast in order to activate the yeast. Okay, so I've already warmed up my liquids. It should be around 100 degrees. 3 tablespoons of sugar. We're just gonna mix that in. Add our yeast. Let's do that now, and it's gonna be a 2.5 teaspoons, or if you have the packets, just a packet. It's fine. Really good. And then I'm going to cover it until it's nice and frothy. I'm going to say 5 to 10 minutes, about 5 to 10 minutes. I'm going to cover it with this little bowl cover that I got from Amazon as well. I really like them, all different types of patterns, but I'm just going to cover it, and we're going to leave it on the counter to do its thing for 5 to 10 minutes, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so this is exactly 10 minutes later and it has frothed up really well. So I just wanted to show you that before I start using the stand mixer. So I'm first going to use the pedal attachment to mix everything together, then I'm going to switch over to the dough hook. Tablespoon of oil, and I didn't say, but you can substitute it for 2 tablespoons of butter, but I prefer to use oil. I use olive oil. So we're going to just add that in there. Okay, so I'm going to mix a little bit more flour, and then I'm going to add my salt. I don't like to add my salt first. I don't want it to kill the yeast. That's why we don't add it to the liquids, is salt that I found on, let's see if it'll focus, Amazon, and it's one of my favorite. It's sea salt, but it's fine sea salt. So I will link that below, but I really like the salt. I don't know what it is. I just like it for some reason, so. Okay, so now about this consistency, I'm going to switch to my dough hook. All right, here's the dough hook for that. And I'm going to add almost the rest of my flour. Add the rest of my flour to it, and then I'm going to let it go for 5 minutes. Okay, so I let it knead for 6 minutes on 2 per the instructions of the manual of the mixer, and this is what it looks like. That's what it turned out like. And then I'm going to actually transfer it to a bowl that's going to have, I'm going to spray some olive oil, Pam, on it. I'm going to transfer it to this bowl back here and let it rise for about an hour to an hour and a half. Okay, so now we're back about an hour later. Doubled in size. Perfect. I have got my pan out. I sprayed it with Pam. You can also use butter to make sure that these rolls don't stick, but I have Pam, so I'm using it. So I'm going to set that to the side, and I'm going to tip my bread out. I did sanitize the surface. I washed it, wiped it down, dried it off, and so I'm going to just put some flour down, lightly flour it, and dump my rolls into it. And I'm going to pat it out into a square. I patted it down into a square because I'm going to cut it into bigger portions. I think I'm going to make about 9 tonight because we are having potato soup, and I'm going to have sandwiches with them. So I'm going to make these rolls into sandwiches tonight. And I just fold those corners in and kind of pinch them like this. Kind of roll it in my hands, and then you can roll it on the counter and make your little roll. And there's my little whoop. You can make your little roll. There's my little roll. And I'm going to do that 8 more times. My rolls took about 35 minutes to double in size, so what I'm going to do now is turn the oven on to 350 and wait for it to be preheated to 350 and stick these in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. Now I might die, but I just wanted to mention, because I totally forgot to mention this, you can do an egg wash on these, or you can do what I prefer to do, especially if I'm having them as a dinner roll, bake them and then put butter on top of them for that kind of shiny finish, but also it gives it, since I use salted butter, as we know, it gives it a little bit of flavor to it as well. And here they are. Look at them. They're gorgeous. All right, I'm gonna get some butter and I'll be back.
Oh mon Dieu!
Why, hello. Really? Oh, you threw me off, baby. Ah!